and what Mercedes may have going forward. Now, I have already been very clear on my stance about what I expect Mercedes to do going forward for 2023. I've said in several of the closed group meetings we have in the Wolves Den, I don't think they abandoned the slim down side pod, although I look for them to be a bit more open-minded in the next season if things aren't panning out. We already know going into the off season or the winter season and testing and everything else, they would have a little bit more time. Let's just say more time than they had previously going into the last winter season. And I think this time, I think they showed that they could bounce back from what we all know to be a crap car at the beginning of 2022 to what was at the end of 2022, seeing that Mercedes was more competitive, or at least let's say it this way, they showed more pace in that car than they did at the beginning of the season. They showed that while Ferrari dropped off, that Mercedes kind of snuck in there to be more talked about amongst and along with Red Bull. Although we knew Red Bull ran away with the championship, they had the fastest car on the grid in the RB18. Adrian Newey and the engineering department over at Red Bull proved that they had a better concept that dropped in the new regulation era of 2022. But will that be the same thing in 2023? We saw that Red Bull did not bring their weight package, their reduction of weight package towards the end of 2022 as they said they were going to do, right? Now, there could be a couple of reasons for why Red Bull didn't do that. They already breached the cost cap in 2021. It looks like they may have breached, it's possible they may have then breached or kept themselves from breaching the cost cap in 2022. We will not find out about that until this coming up season. Big shout out to all the fans. Ben, Xbox Fortress, what's up? I see you on that green badge. Deregular, I see you with that gold badge, means you up off that. So big salute to you all. And we know that Mercedes, what's up, Mary Beanie? What's happening with you? We know Mercedes had issues, right? But we know Mercedes is a resilient team. So let's take a look at this real quick. Let's just take a look at something. And like I told you all, I was not all overly excited about the startup of the W14 power unit. To me, the power unit was not the big issue. The power unit was being restrained because of aero development. I said that. So it wasn't a big deal for me to see the power unit being started up. The development needed to be shown or realized to us in if this car is going to be a Dolphin next season. Is it going to be porpoising down the straights? Is it going to be able to reach the end of long straights and at top speeds without the porpoising issue? Are they going to be able to put that car in a ride height position that is going to benefit them every race and at majority of the tracks? These are where the problems are, not the power unit. The power unit is the least of our concerns at this point in time. So if we go right here, Total Wolf can be quoted as saying, all right, first, the W14 will share at least some aesthetic qualities with the W13. And Wolf did admit even the successor looked similar. He has been assured that it is very different underneath, okay? Underneath. So we're talking about floor, planks, aero development, aero direction. I'm pretty much like you. I go into the wind tunnel and it looks like this year's car, but they say to me it's very different underneath. It's about the airflow. Like I said, aero package. It's about the weight distribution. It's about the aero map. Like I said, underneath, directing this airflow, getting this car in a position where it can handle aero and not go into porpoising at high speeds. That is where their issues were, okay? And I also will say something else. I told you all that if Mercedes managed to get this package, this slimmed down package, this variation that nobody else had on the grid, except for some teams very similar. We had Williams, we had McLaren, and they both abandoned the slimmer down side pods. Mercedes did not. Our car fundamentally changed mid-year. We changed the concept, but we couldn't see anything on the bodywork. This is what I was telling you all. Okay? This is my point about this. If Mercedes is able to go into the next season in 2023, retaining their philosophy on the slimmer side pods while two other teams abandoned it and while the rest of the grid never got onto it. You have to keep in mind these things. Their packaging underneath is completely different. It is completely different. And if Mercedes manages to harness in direct airflow where this current package or the variation of the W13 being still slimmed down in side pods, because that's what I'm taking from that it is very similar to the W13, which means its side pods are still slim. Their packaging, their side impact structure underneath that car is going to be where their benefit is if they can make realized pace, because this is what will happen. If they get, we already know they had an extreme downforce. You don't get porpoising without having downforce in the car. Mercedes had the most porpoising out of any team on the grid, which means in order to get porpoising, you have to have an extreme amount of downforce, causing that car to reach out to stall, pop back up, and then go under that cycle again. That's what causes porpoising. So if they can manage to aero map that car to where it gets its downforce and it can handle straight line speed without reaching the stall section, then they will be ahead of the grid, given the power unit then can deliver the speed. But the aero package of the car has to be able to reach that without porpoising and bouncing all over the damn track. And they have to be able to reach a medium to where that package will facilitate a good amount of the tracks. All right, now I do believe the last track they started porpoising, right? We saw that they porpoised. We were like, what's going on? Mercedes, more than likely, wanted to know where, if they actually solved the issue. And sometimes in order to understand, if you understand the issue and you think you have a fixed, you have to change that component and see if you can then recreate the problem. And then if you change that component again, do you resolve the problem? That tells you if you then have the right idea and concept to what is going to fix your problem. And if you understand that, now you can really progress. Now you understand what kind of development and aero package you need to then start installing. These are things that Mercedes and that Toto are expressing in this post. So we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see, because I'm going to tell you this. That is enlightening and that is definitely positive. But when it comes to actuality, theory is very different than reality. We will have to see what happens during testing. For all I damn know, this car might come out and be a double DNF, triple DNF at the beginning of the season. One thing we can rest assured is we saw that Mercedes had an extreme amount of reliability. We didn't see a reliability failure until Abu Dhabi with Lewis Hamilton at the last race. We didn't see a failure until then. So they're extremely reliable. Now they have to be extremely high pace. They have to be extremely developed in the aero situation to get away from porpoising. These are the things that we're looking for, not the power unit startup. All right. So we will soon see the W14, if its real development will be realized in pace, and will it be able to carry these drivers to race wins? And matter of fact, no. Will this car enable the drivers to collect race wins? That's what it's really about. They have to provide their drivers with a car, with reliability, with pit stop crew shit. Mercedes, you got to do better on your pit stop. You need to do better on your strategy, and you need to do better with understanding that, hey, if this shit's not working, we need to adapt in real time. Because you can have a good car, you can have good drivers, but if your strategy and everything else sucks, you're going to handicap your drivers, which we likely may have seen with Ferrari, with Charles and Carlos, and they're going to get the opportunity to prove that this season, but that's another video. So I'm waiting until testing, all right? The car unveiling, that's going to be fun and glitz and glamour, that's cool. I'm waiting until testing to see if something is really real. We're going to see all the high flow vids and aero rakes that you can imagine probably at Mercedes. Okay, so be prepared for that. Hot pink, green, whatever the color they choose to use, we're going to be seeing that. Because if they're including a new aero package, they're going to need to know in real time, how is this air flowing around the car? Is it being lost places? Is it being trapped in places? So we're going to see aero rakes and high flow viz paint all through Mercedes garage. Guaranteed on that. Be ready for that. So that's it. I just wanted to get on this morning, chop it up with you all to start the day off right. This second day of 2023. We had an awesome race yesterday. We're going to have another race this coming up weekend. So if you're not in yet, go ahead and send me a request on the EA platform at Wolfpack F1. Send me that request so we can get you on. We nearly had a complete grid of 20 cars. We had 18. We were minus two participants. We are on our way, continuously growing in the Wolfpack F1 Grudge Race series. So be ready for that. Xbox Fortress, congratulations, sir, making it 6 months. Keep the faith for Lewis to be a race winner again this year. And I do believe if Mercedes provide a good car, he will be that. All right, he will be that. So we will see. So everybody have concurrent views 44. That might be a good omen. I don't know. I ain't into all that. It could be though. It could be. So Wolfpack fam, I'm gonna be seeing y'all. I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna go make me some oatmeal with some cranberries, some brown sugar. Eat right. Drink your water, take your vitamins, stay healthy for me, all right? I don't want to see y'all down bad. I know some of our other members were down bad. I know Big Hurt, his family went through it. Mary Beanie went through it. Sylvia Wick went through it. Nall went through it. I know plenty of us went through it, so let's try to stay healthy. Take your vitamins, drink your water, try to eat a little bit better than not, all right? So I'm going to get with you all soon. Just wanted to come on here, pop up with y'all this morning. Be ready to go into the Wolves Den this Wednesday. All Wolfpack members, we will have a Wolves Den meeting to chop it up and talk verbally, not just in the comment section and in the live chat. All right. So I will see y'all soon. Peace.